On today's video, I'm going to make a healthier version of Snickers using just 4 ingredients, and Joe's not going to know what it is until he gives it a taste test. Stay tuned. Welcome back to One Dish, Two Ways. So 3 weeks ago, I think it was, we did a challenge where I made chocolate chip cookies, one standard American, one whole food plant-based, and then I let Joe try them. We're doing that again because I've been seeing this viral Snickers bar on the, all the different social media platforms. And so I told Joe, I said, what if I make you a Snickers bar? And he was like, that's okay. So he set the camera up and he's gone outside to the garden to work on stuff. So let me tell you how we're going to make this. It's literally 4 ingredients and you can make this, you can adapt this any way you want. So the first ingredient is dates. And it's the Medjool dates, and you want them pitted unless you wanted to take the pit out. So it basically used this entire container for this recipe. And you open it up. I didn't actually have any pits. Every once in a while you might get a pit, but you open it up and you lay it out. And you're going to do that for all of them. And then you're going to press them out using, and I'll make sure you use parchment paper because this is sticky. So I have parchment paper on the bottom and I have parchment paper on the top. Now you could either use a rolling pin or you could use a very hard glass, and then you could do it this way. Now I will say I started this ahead of filming because I knew this was going to take a little bit of time, and learn from me. And when you lay the dates out, make sure you kind of lay them on top, on top of each other, touching, because not all of mine are doing that. And so we're going to have some of the ingredients go through, but that's okay. I can make that work. So, and you got to be careful when you take this paper. I've taken it off a couple times to see where I'm at, and it is sticky, which means the dates are nice and fresh. You never know when you get the dates how fresh they're going to be. This is a really good batch. So let me just take the rest of this off to show you. Okay, so we have our date layer. So that's the bottom layer. And then you're going to spread peanut butter on it. Now, a recipe calls for creamy peanut butter. So you can use creamy peanut butter, or you could use the powdered peanut butter and turn it into the peanut butter so it's less fat, which is what I opted to do. This calls for 2/3 of a cup, and you want it creamy because you want it to spread on your dates. I did 10 tablespoons of the powdered peanut butter and 6 tablespoons originally of water, but then as it sat there, it seemed to get less creamy, and I thought that's going to be hard to spread. So I added another tablespoon, but I would caution you to start with less and then add more, because once you add too much, then you might have to add more powder. So just keep that in mind. So this is the next layer, is the peanut butter layer. So we're just going to spread this on the dates. This is going to be so good. And as I was thinking about this on the way home before we filmed, I thought, well, now this could be used like a homemade, Snickers bar as like for Easter basket. You could put this in the Easter basket because you're going to cut it into bars. So I thought that would be a really good idea if somebody likes Snickers bars, which Joe is a fan of Snickers bars. He was very excited. Some weeks our ideas come to us very quickly, some not so much. And this just keeps popping up on all my, YouTube and all these things. So I thought, oh, this would be something. And he didn't hesitate when I said, how about if I do a challenge again where you walk away and I make you a healthy Snickers bar? And he was very excited about that. So that's what we're doing today. Now they will take about an hour. It says in the recipe, you can freeze it for 30 minutes and then bring it out and cut it, or leave it in the fridge up to a minimum of an hour. And so that's what we'll do, because we're not in a hurry to have to hurry up and try it. So you basically just want to cover all of the dates with the peanut butter layer, which I have successfully done. So that is good. Try to get all this finished up. Okay, the next layer is your chocolate layer. Again, you can do this as whole food, plant-based, standard, whatever you want to do. So I have the dairy-free chips that I'm using. It's this brand, the Enjoy Life, but you could use regular chocolate chips if you want. You could also switch the chips out. These are semi-sweet. You could use milk chocolate. You could try butterscotch, but we're going with the traditional Snickers. And I will tell you, if you've never melted the chocolate in the microwave before, it's a it's a patience thing. You put your 3/4, I think it's 3/4. Yeah, 3/4 cup of the chocolate chips, and I use the mini chips for these. Microwave it 30-second intervals, and every time you have a 30-second interval, you're going to stir it because you want it to be smooth and done, but I have done it too much before. And make sure that whatever dish you're doing it in is completely dry. If you've got water in there, it's going to completely change the texture. The other thing I would caution you about is if most of the chips are melted, then go ahead and let the residual heat melt the last few of them. And that's what I did here. And that worked out perfect because now we're still in spreadable mode. So now we need to spread on the chocolate. So let's do that. See how effectively I can do that with, ooh, buddy, these are going to be so, I just can't imagine these being bad. I just think they're going to be good. Another great recipe to do with kids or anybody who wants to get some candy, some chocolate made, that would be fantastic. And anything you can do it's fun. And it might be more likely that they would eat them if they help make them. So that's always a good thing. If the kids are involved, there's a better chance. I know if our son was helping with cooking when he was little, there was a better chance. I mean, he still wasn't going to eat green beans and onions and things like that. But there was a better chance of him eating a casserole or something if he helped me make it. So my chocolate is definitely not as spreadable as it was when it first came out. So you may want to think about that. It's already starting to harden some, which is good. We want it to harden, but just not until I'm done with the spreading. So you might have to pop it back in the microwave. But I think I'm going to get this taken care of. And it doesn't have to be perfect because I've got one more ingredient to put on here. All right, let me put this back in for 10 seconds or so, just so I can get this last little bit here. And then the last thing we're going to put on is a 1/2 cup of peanuts. And these are lightly salted. I couldn't find any that were no salted. So these were lightly salted. And then I did cut them with a knife to get them into smaller pieces. So, whoop. Okay, so that should be better. I hope. Get a small, there we go. There we go. See, you can always make it work. Don't be scared to try. Just give it a try. Perfect. Okay. So now, got a little bit left in here. We got to hit this little corner right here. Okay, I think we're going to have to call that done. And then we're going to sprinkle the peanuts on it. And then you're going to kind of press them down so that they will stay on. You always have some that fall off. That's normal. But we're just going to press them down. My goodness. It smells like a Snickers bar. That's for sure. So I have a feeling he's going to like this. I'm not sure what there would be, unless you didn't like peanuts and chocolate. I don't know what about this wouldn't be acceptable. And see, the peanuts kind of hide any of your abnormalities. So again, like my crisp recipe a few weeks ago, if I don't have to make it perfect, that it makes me feel a lot better because I'm not perfect about things like that. Like I'm just not that big of a deal to me. So there we go. Now we're going to put it in the fridge for a minimum of 1 hour. Then we'll bring it out and I'll bring you back and I'll cut this up and we're going to let Joe try it and see what he thinks. So we'll see you in a little bit. Welcome back. It's been an hour and it is now time to cut this. So let's get it off the tray. Move the tray over here and let's start cutting this. Oh my goodness, hear that crunch. And then Joe is going to get to try it. Okay, let's do one here. Okay, come on in, Joe. Oh, fell apart, but that's okay. I'll eat the other part of the piece. Maybe it could have sat a little bit longer. Mmm. I don't think it tastes like a sugar bar.
Tastes like a what?
Snickers bar.
It's a little different because you used a dark chocolate.
Mm-mm.
Kind of tastes like a dark chocolate, but it's still...
Oh, semi-sweet.
It's still good.
Would you eat it as a snack?
Yeah.
So it has dates at the bottom, and you press them until they're one big sheet. Then I use the powdered peanut butter to make it creamy, then the melted chocolate, and then the peanuts. That's good.
The texture is almost like a Snickers.
It is. I think it's that dates makes the caramely.
A little chewier. But I think that's just the chewiness of the date and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
Boy, that is really good.
It needs to sit a little longer.
Yeah, I think it does. I think an hour, it needs more than an hour, honestly.
Like the bottom's gotten hard and the chocolate's hard, but I think it's the caramel or peanut butter in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That's not quite.
It could set a little bit longer, so I would recommend that. He's right.
But otherwise, yeah.
So I nailed it. Another one, I nailed it. And the dates is probably not something you have at the house all the time, but the other stuff you probably do. So you could easily make, in a couple, 3 hours, a good substitute. I was saying in the earlier part of the video, you could make this and wrap it individually and put it in Easter baskets. Wouldn't that be good? So thank you all so much for joining us. Let us know in the comments, are you a fan of Snickers, and are you going to give this recipe a try? And would you make any adaptations? If you like this, you could like or subscribe. We do post videos every Wednesday, and we appreciate everyone being here. Have a wonderful week, everyone.